Good morning, everybody. I do have it being 10:30, so I'd like to get the broadcast started. I know we're really busy, especially since the upcoming weather tomorrow, which is not a huge deal, but then the next storm coming out on Friday into the weekend. So with that being said, this is a perfect opportunity to talk about the probabilistic snow tool that we are participating in for the winter. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you guys so that you all can see what I'm talking about. So I am sharing my screen to everybody. Excellent. And then I'm going to go to full screen here from the beginning. And here we go. All right. Hopefully, I don't know if it's working. I'm just going to do it this way. All right. Instead of sharing my full screen, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go slide by slide. Okay. So you can get to the winter probabilistic forecast several ways. The first one is off our main headline page. There's a headline there, or you can go to weather.gov/RLX/winter. I do realize that there's a lag in the broadcast, so I'm going to try and go slowly through the slides to make sure everybody catches up. But when you get to our main winter probabilistic page, you will see these three screens on top of each other. And from there, you can then get a whole bunch of information. As a note, our office in Pittsburgh are now joining Sterling's office for this probabilistic snow forecast. And Blacksburg will hopefully be added next winter. All right, so the first thing when you get in is you'll see these graphics. And this is the middle one is the most likely snowfall graphic. And that is basically the office's forecast. This is what we're forecasting. The min and the max are based on models, on a conglomerate of models. And basically, this is the most likely scenario if the minimum amount happens, and then this is the worst case scenario. The maximum will be the worst case scenario. And you can kind of see here where our forecast lines up with the maximum forecast. And what that means is that we're going with the higher snow amounts. And so there are times where our forecast will be the same as the minimum or the same as the maximum, or we might fall in between. And then if we have any ice accumulation expected in the next 72 hours, you'll see it here. Okay. So I'm going to flip slides and wait a second because I realize that it's kind of slow on y'all's end. And then further down the page, you'll see a graphic that will hopefully talk a little about timing, the onset of wintry precipitation. And what you'll do is we'll go to the page and we'll see if there's anything there. But basically, it's a timing color. And so it will start, assuming in the next 24 hours. And so it will say a time range of when to expect the onset of snow or winter precipitation. Please remember that that it's within the next 24 hours. So if something is going to start at 10 o'clock at night and then at 3 o'clock in the morning, just make sure you're looking at the time because it's within the next 24 hours. Here's a blow up of the timing graphic so I can kind of show you what I mean. So you can see here that in the purple area, it's 5 to 7 p.m. And in the blue area, it's 7 to 9 p.m. And then the green area is 9 to 11. But knowing that in this screen capture I have here, that it is starting in the future within the next 24 hours. Okay. The next part of the page is the exceedance graphics. And these are kind of interesting. And please remember that this is based on models. So you might get some high points. You might get some freckled looking images. And that's all based on models. But basically what I have here is John Victory, 10180,
sorry. John Victory. 101 or 80.
What I have here is I've moused over the greater than 2 inches of snow probability. And you can see that in the dark gray areas, there's not a chance of 2 inches of snow. But if I had moused over the greater than 1/10 of an inch of snow, you could see that the whole forecast area would have 1/10 of an inch of snow. And so it kind of gives you an idea of the probability of that area getting so much snow. So the higher the confidence, the lesser the snow amount, and so forth. And all right. So hopefully what this will do is it will give you the chance of our confidence of receiving more than so much snow amounts. And like I said, we'll go ahead and get on the main page. I'm going to load the main page in a minute, and we'll actually see what's out there right now. And then if you don't like the graphic, you can actually have it display in this table format. And you can then look at the likelihood of receiving so much snow based on location in a county or across our forecast area. And you can see here where Ashland, the minimum is going to be less than an inch. The likely amount is less than an inch, but the maximum would be 1 inch. So, and we've got a high confidence, 100% confidence that it's going to be between 0.1 and 1 inch. But if you go to some place like Parkersburg, min is 1, likely is 1, max is 1. But there is a 38% chance that you could have 1 to 2 inches based off the model runs. Okay. And once again, these are new experimental graphics. The data is available of winter weather, typically 2 to 3 days beforehand. So we're going to go look at some stuff coming up. Hopefully they'll be helpful in determining the minimum and maximum amounts of snow possible, especially maybe when we have a low confidence forecast. You can kind of get an idea of what the range might be, the greater extent of it. The timing graphic may or may not be useful for onset of precipitation. We've been watching this so far, and there have been times when it's been very confusing as far as the onset of timing. We're working on this with the developers. But hopefully we'll answer the question, when will it start snowing in my area? At least give you an idea. The preceding probability of exceeding so much snow amount, we talked about that. It's in graphic or table format, and it will give you an idea of the percent chance of getting snow ranging from that 100th of an inch, or 10th of an inch, excuse me, that's a typo, to greater than 18 inches. I guess at this point in time, I'm going to check my email and see if there are any questions. And then what I also want to do is I want to go to our webpage and show everybody live how this is about. So let me go take a pause here, everybody, and I am going to stop my camera for a moment. And as I stop my camera, I'm just going to go pull up my email real fast. All right. I, at this point in time, do not see any email questions. I guess that's either good or bad. I'm not sure which. So let's go ahead and show this live. So here's our main site, weather.gov/ROLX, and you click on the experimental probabilistic snow forecast across the top, or you can just type in the web address that I'd given you earlier, weather.gov/ROLX/winter. And here is the page live. All right, so this tells you that the experiment is for the 20th, which is tomorrow, from 7 a.m. to Thursday at 7 a.m. So that's what the time frame we're looking for. So that's this little bit of snow coming in that we have tonight, not the giant storm that we're going to be talking about coming up. So the minimum forecast, when you click here, you can see that for the most part, the dark gray, anywhere from less than an inch is what we're expecting. And the maximum forecast is maybe 2 to 3 inches, across the higher elevations, with our forecast being here. So this is what we're forecasting, what's in our grids. And you can kind of see the colors. We've got less than an inch for the most part to an inch. Okay. Apparently there is some ice accumulation And this is actually, if you look at it, this is the 21st at 7 p.m. through the 22nd at 7 p.m. So that is Thursday. So this is the upcoming bigger event that we have. So if I click on the most likely ice glaze, you can see that we do have some ice in our forecast. So this kind of gives you an idea. And it was generated at 6:23 this morning, and it's valid from once again 7 p.m. on the 21st, which is Thursday, through 7 a.m. On Friday. So it kind of gives you an idea of the possible ice accumulation as you're getting ready for stuff. All right, so I'm going to pause for a second and let the broadcast catch up to me, because I know internet is kind of on the slow side. Because we're really not within 24 hours of anything, we don't have an onset graphic. So we really can't look at that. So there's really nothing there to see, but if there was, you would kind of see the onset. And you can see that we have a hazardous weather outlook. So this is a good way to look at kind of one-stop shop. But once again, I'm just gonna I'm gonna scroll down here, and this is from the 20th. This is from the 20th, which is tomorrow at 7 a.m. through Thursday at 7 a.m. And once again, we had talked about this. So the chance of receiving greater than 1/10 of an inch of snow is pretty high across the forecast area. But once you get out here to the 2 or 3 inches, you can see that it's only greater across the mountains. Remember I mentioned that freckle appearance? Please remember that these are based on models. And so these kind of freckled maximums are basically because of the models. So you can kind of look at that and say, yeah, I don't think so, and just kind of throw it out. But once again, this is experimental, so we're kind of working with the developer to see why we're getting this freckled look sometimes. But once again, this was the greater than 2 inches of snow between Wednesday and Thursday, so Wednesday into Thursday. So the greatest chance of possibly seeing 2 inches, is greater than 2 inches, is across the mountains. And really, we're not going to see that 2 inch chance. There's not much confidence in seeing that 2 inch chance in the lowlands. So, and then of course, if we pick the extreme of the 18 inches, there's no chance of 18 inches of snow. Okay. As I mentioned, you can also look at this as a table format. And so I'm just going to kind of pick a county. I'm actually going to pick Pocahontas because I think that would be an interesting thing to look at. So here's Pocahontas County. Oh, come on. There we go. And once again, I'm going to give it a moment or two to catch up on y'all's end, because I realize that the internet is slow. So once again, this is looking at the 20th, which is Wednesday from 7 a.m. to Thursday, 7 a.m. And these are just locations in Pocahontas County. And you can kind of look at the table and you can say, okay, greater than 1/10 of an inch. Yeah, looks like it's pretty high everywhere. And there are even locations that are going to be greater than or equal to 2 inches. So let's say you want to look at ranges, because that's kind of more probabilistic of what we'll get as a range of snow. So you can click on the button that said switch to ranges. And I'm still learning as we go along on this. But basically, there is up for Boyer, there's a 50% chance that we'll see 1 to 2 inches, and a 40% chance of 0.1 to 1 inch, but only a 10% chance of 2 to 4 inches. So basically, we're going to go with the 2 inches, the high confidence of 2 inches, because if you add up the 50 and 40, you get the 90% confidence that it's there, and only a 10% confidence of the 2 to 4 inches. And so you can do that for any location across our forecast area. So if we decide to go up to, let's say, Perry County in Ohio, once again, 100% chance across the board for Perry County of seeing 1/10 of an inch, and a medium, low confidence of greater than 1 inch. If I switch to ranges, you can see that all of the confidence values are between 1/10 of an inch and 2 inches. So that should tell you that you could get anywhere from probably closer to that 1 inch mark, but there's a small chance of possibility that you could see up to 2 inches. And then if you continue scrolling down that page, you've got other stuff from the Climate Prediction Center for long range forecast that we would hope that you guys would find useful. So at this point in time, I'm going to go back to my email and I'm going to see if there's any questions, because once again, I apologize. I did not turn the question feature on. So the next time I do a Hangout, I'm going to have to try and turn that on. So give me 2 seconds here to go check my email and see if there's any questions from y'all. So all right, I've turned my microphone back on. I'm gonna stop screen sharing, which then means that you guys get to see me. And I got one question through email. The question I got was, are you gonna share the slides? And of course, I'm gonna make this Google Hangout public. It already is public. And so that you can view it at your desire. And then as I go through each of these presentations, the next one on Thursday and then the Skype one next week, I will make all of the slides available to you guys. So I just want to say thanks again for being my guinea pigs and letting me test out Google Hangouts. To me, it was pretty cool. I would love some feedback from the 20 of you all that are online to see what y'all think. I do believe a question and answer session would be very helpful. I will do that the next time. But in the meantime, I really appreciate your time. I hope it was helpful. Thanks, everybody. Bye.